Today is May 21st, 2010, and this is Emily Carley. I'm here in Newton, Massachusetts with Mr. Arthur Wong. That's W-O-N-G. And Mr. Wong, you were in the Army, correct?
Army, yeah.
And you were in the 28th Infantry Division, 110th Regiment,
Right.
3rd Battalion, Company A.
Right.
Can you tell me how you got into the service?
Right after the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor in 1941, I was still in my tent, not 18 yet. So I worked in a shipyard, building battleships. So later, when I was turned 18 in 1943, I joined the Army because I think I had to do something to help the freedom to fight for the United States and China to make the world be free.
And where were you living at the time?
During the time in Boston.
Okay. So can you tell me what happened after you joined the service?
After joining service, I went. They shipped me to South Carolina for training, and I had 3 months basic training, and after that, I think because I passed everything in the training, I'm capable for general service. So they put me in a combat outfit to 28th Division 110 Infantry to be a combat troop.
Can you tell me about some of the training?
And some of the training, or in training, after 3 months base training, and we were shifted overseas to England, and we had more training in England because we had to wait for the invasion next year in 1944. So I had amphibious training and all kind of heavy weapon, and the most important is that we had lot training to land in the beach. When we went overseas, we are in a convoy or large battleship. I don't even know how many, but we was in a convoy, the battleship to England. I don't remember much.
What was that like, being on that ship?
Being on a battleship? No, I'm just thinking we might go in the front, but not. We only going to England for training.
Did you have any trouble adjusting to being on the ship?
No trouble at all.
So
I had a lot of good friends I met in the training and in 28th Division.
Tell me what it was like when you got to England.
In England, I remember we stationed in 2 different places, but I don't know. I don't remember the name. And we had training there.
Were you doing more training for the landings?
Yeah, mostly and a lot of height. The first one we carried 60-pound full pack, and we walked for 5 miles. And that time we walked for 10 miles, and next we walked 15 miles. But then again later we had to make 30 miles in 2 days. So it's very hard, and my foot get blistered.
Oh, I'm sure. And so, at this point, did you know that you were going to be participating in D-Day, in the D-Day landings?
No, at this time I know we are going to invade to France, but I don't know where. I had no idea where we're going to land, but that's the training.
How long were you in England before you went across the channel?
I think for 10 months, something like that. One day, they talk about they're looking for volunteer to join to be ranger. I was thinking, sooner or later I'm gonna be in the fighting. I don't know if I can come back or not. So I always want to behead other people. So I joined the ranger. They only accept 2 from each company, and I qualify everything. So I had ranger training, and include parachute and all kind of amphibious training, and again in hiking, they want me to make 7 miles in 1 hour, 3 miles speed march, and 4 miles running. So in 1 hour you had to make 7 miles, and with full pack, 60 pounds on the shoulder. So this time, in any training, I always pass, no problem. But this time, 7 miles, I cannot make it. I drop out because really I see the guy in front of me, and he take 2 steps. I had to make 3, so I know I cannot make it. And the major, the commander is a major. He asked me. He said, "You had a right to back out. If you think you cannot make it, then you'll be free anytime. Because the range you join a ranger." He told me, "You know, a ranger is like going to get suicide, going to be like suicide. You like that?" I said, "Oh, since in army, I know sooner or later we had to die, but I like to be the ranger, but today I know I cannot make it. So they let me get out. Later, this group, they only had 13 pass, only 13. This 13, they call it the 30-13, and they will fly and land to France before the invasion, and none come back.